Welcome to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil, the official Monster Jam podcast. I'm Scott Jordan. My guest this week just debuted a brand new ride in an exciting new partnership with Ringling. I'm talking about Bailey Circuit, and of course, it is my great pleasure to welcome in studio the driver of Bailey Circuit, Brianna Mahon. Brianna, welcome back to Inside Monster Jam. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Great to see you back. Very active. You had a great season. Now you get a brand new ride. We're going to talk about that transition, but first I want to talk about the development of this truck. So when did you get a phone call? Did you get an email? Did you get a text? When did this truck become something that was on your radar where you knew, oh my gosh, I'm getting this cool new thing?
Yeah, I got a phone call. I was actually at an event, I think walking down the street trying to find a taco truck at the time. And kind of they gave me a call and was like, hey, we have, something in mind. Are you available the rest of the year? And I was like, of course, obviously. And they kind of gave me the rundown of what this new truck was going to be. And you know what? I was super excited. It's always exciting to get to debut a new truck and to kind of be the face of a new brand. And like I said, a truck is a truck. I'm so excited to be able to have this as a career, no matter what the truck is.
You've been around. You're celebrating over a decade now in Monster Jam. So you've been around and you've done all of it. So you're no stranger to the spotlight being on you. Any extra pressure now to be in another brand new ride? And I say that because now you have the Ringling name attached to you, which is one of our major partners and one of our major properties. So what does that feel like for you to represent that brand?
Yeah, there's always a little bit of pressure. Even when I debuted Whiplash, I had a horrible debut weekend. I was so nervous and ended up, I think, trashing the whole body. But, coming out in Bailey Circuit, it did bring a little bit of pressure, but I was excited. This is such a huge collaboration with Ringling and bringing these two massive, identities from Feld Entertainment together and creating something that's never been done before. And so honestly, it was really exciting, and we had a great weekend in Raleigh, and the truck went over so well. And you know what? I did really well. It was a tough weekend. We had some awesome competitors there, so really was fighting tooth and nail for every point. But we did manage a freestyle win, and I was really happy with the whole weekend.
So our team here, I know, has been developing the promos and the videos and trying to get this truck off and running for our digital team and our social media. So there's been a lot of behind the scenes work going on. At what point did you become, available to this process to where you were given privy information, to where you were given some footage? Because I know, we've had Bailey roaming the halls here every now and then, walking down the halls right behind the studio. So when did you become a focal point of this process?
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't a super, early on thing. I found out kind of a little bit later in the game plan of things, but honestly, this was such a well-kept secret that, we really didn't want anything getting out. And so going into World Finals, I definitely knew about it. So it was so hard to keep this a secret because it was such a cool one at that. But, I wanted this to be as big as a surprise as everyone else, and I knew the hard work and dedication that the team put into all of the promo videos and setting up the debut and making sure that I was a part of the whole process, and it was really neat to see it all come together and come to life.
Let's talk about the official unveil, July 16th, New York, the Toy Insiders Sweet event, which is quite a mouthful in New York City. You come out, you debut this truck, they unveil it, you're there with some representatives from Ringling and Monster Jam. What was that experience like for you?
It was really neat. It was definitely outside of my wheelhouse. I've never got to do anything like that. And so to attend that event by itself was really crazy to see, all of these influencers running around and see all the cool toys. I know I got some ideas for my daughter this Christmas, but to be able to see the truck in person as, the sheet got pulled off was really neat because I'd only got to see renderings of it. And so when you see it in real life, it was the colors just really, popped, and watching the reaction from the crowd was really cool. But being there with, Wesley, the one wheel wonder, he was such an asset to the entire unveil. He brought the whole Ringling side to things and could really help the crowd understand where that collaboration came in together and kind of why it works. And we had some fun. We did some juggling acts and we did some interviews and got to take a bunch of photos and do some fun things with the people that were there.
I was able to take my kids to Ringling this past year. It's amazing having that back. I feel like having that platform to take your kids, your family to that show has been sorely missed. So having that back is amazing. What are your thoughts on the whole process with being a part of Ringling now and that family? Because it is a huge, huge event that like Monster Jam tours every week.
I am really excited. I've not got to go to one yet, so I'm really excited to do that this fall and kind of, get to show my daughter kind of everything that it's about and really just to fully understand that side of things, because obviously I'm motorsports through and through, so I never went to the circus as a child or got to see anything like that. So I think I'm just as excited as she is to really just kind of fully understand what their world is about and truly bringing, the greatest show on earth to Monster Jam, which I love to call the greatest, show on dirt.
Right.
So really just to combine the two and to be that face is such an honor. And, this is, like I said, this is a one-of-its-kind collaboration, and there's never been another circus truck. So,
well, before we go forward, we are going to go back. Coming up next, we're going to talk all things Whiplash and Scooby-Doo. Brianna Mahon is here in studio next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. This week, I'm joined by Bailey Circuit driver Brianna Mahon in studio as we talk about her electric debut of this brand new truck. As I said before the break, before we move forward, we're going to go back. Let's talk about Whiplash and Scooby-Doo, because you debuted a truck in 2018, Whiplash, which was your identity, and we saw that run until the pandemic, and then that went away. Are there any similarities at all between the debut of Whiplash for you and the debut of Bailey Circuit?
I mean, honestly, they were both such amazing events, and just having that, that spotlight on such a special truck really just makes the moment really awesome. Like I said, my debut in Whiplash was a little rocky. I think I rolled in just about every single event. So, debuting Bailey definitely went a lot better and was able to, like I said, come away with that freestyle win. And you know what? It's so awesome to be able to have brought two brand new trucks to Monster Jam, because not a lot of people can say that, and let alone doing it as a female and now as a mom. It's just so surreal that this is my life.
What was it like to come back in Scooby-Doo? Full circle moment for you, and is it bittersweet to say goodbye?
Definitely, because, you never know which truck you're going to end up in. And so every time I'd get, taken out of Scooby for something else, it was like, oh, this is, bye Scooby, this is it. And then, get to come back. And I love that. And Scooby was such a well-loved truck that it felt great to be, a face for that brand and to be one of the longest drivers for Scooby as well over the years. And, I'm sad to, see it go, but at the same time, I'm so excited for what's to come with Bailey Circuit and this entire collaboration.
I think Scooby is the longest running outsourced IP that we have as far as a truck goes. So if you could predict the future, if you had a magic wand you could wave it, what would you like for the future of Scooby-Doo to be without Brianna Mahon?
Honestly, it's such a fan favorite truck. And at the end of the day, so is Whiplash. And I think it's awesome that these trucks do exist and that the fans received them so well. I mean, I've had people come through my pit party line with tattoos of Scooby-Doo. And if that doesn't show you the fan base for them, and even Whiplash is the same. I hear about it every day on social media about Whiplash. And, it's still, just like I said, it's such a surreal feeling to be able to have been the face of these brands for so long and to have people fall in love with them and want that legacy to continue forever. And I couldn't ask for anything better, and I hope that Bailey Circuit is the same way.
Well, speaking of tattoos, you and I obviously are ink aficionados, and you have tattoos for your trucks. Is that correct?
I do. So I got a Whiplash tattoo back here on my arm once I kind of came out of that truck. And then this weekend I met a really special individual in Raleigh who actually is from Brazil and has only been here 9 months. Didn't speak hardly any English, but fell in love with Monster Jam. Literally came to the event and was crying happy tears. He never thought he could see that. And I thought it'd be a great idea and kind of, bid the truck farewell to get a little Scooby-Doo tattoo as well. So we got the little dog tag going on, and, just memories. It's just memories at the end of the day.
So any plans maybe to get a Bailey tattoo at some point in time?
Yeah, we'll see where this, collaboration goes, and the brand and the truck, and you never know, I could end up with one someday.
I thought about that when I have to say goodbye to this show, maybe getting an Inside Monster Jam tattoo somewhere on me. Let's talk about toys, because everybody always loves toys, and you've had a Whiplash Spin Master diecast. We see Scooby-Doo out there as well. I know there are plans in the works for a Bailey Circuit truck, and I'm sure it's going to be a hot seller. We do have a Ringling truck that is available. I see it sometimes at our partners, and when I go to the store with my kids, I see it out there. Fans are asking about this. You know, are you anticipating at all some sort of Bailey Circuit truck to come out?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, obviously the ones that are out right now are super awesome and eye-catching, and the crowd's loving it. We sold out our first event this weekend, and everyone was so bummed they couldn't get any more. But you know, the collaboration with Ringling and Bailey Circuit has brought some amazing merchandise to Monster Jam. There's a couple of T-shirts that are available. We even have a Squishmallow type stuffy. Awesome. We also have a Bailey stuffy, which is probably the cutest thing I've ever seen. My daughter carries it around everywhere. And, you know, there's just a lot of fun things, and I'm excited to see where the merchandise goes and the new toys come out, hopefully next year. And I know I've been trying to scour and find them myself. So,
did you notice that I mean, obviously your autograph line is always very long because you're very popular, but did you notice an increase in popularity throughout the Raleigh weekend just because of the new truck and to see you in this?
Absolutely. We did pit party 2 different ways. So Bailey had her very own autograph line on the Saturday afternoon event, and the line for her was so long. It was so cool to see everyone be so interested in, you know, this fan favorite robotic pup from Ringling, and I was really honestly impressed with how well the children loved her and got to dance with her. And then the Sunday afternoon show, or the event, she was beside me. And so that made my line double as long. I felt like Gravedigger over there. My line was queued up all the way, you know, around the arena. And so to get to interact with all the fans and see them personally react to Bailey was really awesome.
That's a special moment. I watched it on a live stream. Awesome. We're going to talk about Raleigh. We're going to take you back to Brianna Mahon's first freestyle win in her brand new truck that is coming up next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. We are back with more Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. Before I get back to our guest, I want to talk about Zenni, and it is time to basically rev up your eyewear, rev up your glasses, and go to zenni.com/monsterjam. You enter the code MonsterJam at checkout. You're going to save 10% off your order, and you can get cool frames like these. They have regular glasses, they have reading glasses, they have sunglasses, prescriptions, you name it. Zenni's got it. So many varieties there, very affordable prices. Enter that code MonsterJam, save 10%. Rev up your vision. Join me with Team Zenni and get your Zenni optical eyewear. Now let's get back to Bailey Circuit. Brianna Mahon in studio. Let's talk about Raleigh, because that was the official debut. It was live streamed on YouTube, and please don't miss these live streams. It's so awesome to be able to see these events happen live. We've done that with Primetime as well. But you know, all eyes were on you here, and I know there was a huge contingent not only from Monster Jam but from Ringling as well to see this truck unveiled, to see it compete. So we talked about pressure earlier, but knowing that all of these fans were tuning in, all of these executives were there to see you, how was the vibe for you when you showed up?
Honestly, it was really great. Like I said, there's always a sense of nerves, and you want to perform well, and you don't want to destroy this beautiful truck, and you know, you want to meet everyone's expectations. And I really just tried to stay level-headed and act as if I was still in Scooby-Doo and just drive how I know how to drive. This was, you know, a little bit smaller of a venue, so we always have to be mindful of building and everything around us. And unfortunately, going into timed racing, I'm not the best at timed racing, so I was already a little discouraged with that. Wasn't able to bring home a win with that this weekend, but, you know, I love freestyle. And that's where I knew I could, you know, show this crowd what Bailey can do, and was able to put on a really solid run. Even with the dirt conditions, I was fighting them a little bit, but I had the most perfect backflip of my career, I'm pretty sure, in that arena. So I was really pumped.
Do you ever drive angry just for fun, just to see what happens?
Yes. So my crew chief loves to yell at me during freestyle, and actually I asked that of them. I love kind of having that hype man in my ear, and there's some days that he says some mean things, but you know what? But it helps me drive harder, and I'm honestly laughing most of the time. I want to say at World Finals, I think I came off the radio and I was like, well, you chose violence today. But you know what? For me, that helps me drive harder, because if I'm in my own little quiet world and I'm just driving around, sometimes I don't feel that I drive to my potential. And so having somebody behind me telling me to, jump bigger, go, drive faster and do better is the push that I need.
So having somebody in your ear barking orders during a show, I don't know what that means. Just kidding. Let's talk about the inclusion of Bailey in your event, because Bailey was there. You talked about the autograph line and getting to meet Bailey. We don't get to see Bailey outside of Ringling, so to have Bailey in Monster Jam at an event has to be a huge deal for people that love going to Ringling, that love that entertainment. What was that like for you to be a part of that partnership with Bailey? You have this robotic dog partner now with you all weekend.
I know. Honestly, it was super fun. I mean, she's a vibe, and the kids love her, even the adults, and I've never seen a robotic animal of any kind. And so I remember the first time I met her, I was like, okay, this is a little different. But at the end of the day, I mean, she just makes you fall in love with her. And I think that's why she's such a success with the circus and Ringling, and why this whole, this whole thing happened. Because if they love her so much over here, why not bring her to Monster Jam and have a whole new generation of fans fall in love with Bailey, but also the circus as well, and really try to bridge these two amazing, events together.
As far as where fans can see you, do you have anything lined up at all for Bailey Circuit?
Yeah, if you go to my social media, my schedule is posted there for the rest of the year. We're gonna make some really iconic stops, some places I've never got to go before. We'll be in Sunrise, Tampa, Newark, Savannah, Georgia, Duluth, even, the pinnacle, Rosemont. So
Yes.
Everyone knows Rosemont.
Yeah.
And so, there's lots of places you can come check us both out and meet Bailey up close and personal, and, really just fall in love with this entire thing.
Does something like this just reinvigorate your career and just give you a new sense of excitement? Obviously, you get to drive a 12,000-pound truck for a living, so I'm sure that's kid in a candy store vibes. But does this accelerate that excitement for you?
No, absolutely, because, it's just like any job. You never know when it's going to be your last year or your last competition, and especially in motorsports, it's always kind of, you just never know. And so every year I work so hard to, just keep that awesome role model image up, and also drive how I know how to drive. And so to be brought into another brand new IP with this, this collaboration with them, it gives me hope that, like, okay, we can keep doing this. We're going to keep trucking on, and I'm doing something right, and my driving is speaking for everything at this point.
Well, I've asked you enough questions today. Are you ready for some fan questions?
I'm absolutely ready.
I love that. It is your turn to take over the desk next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. I'm Scott Jordan. This week, I am joined by Bailey Circuit driver Brianna Mahon in studio. We talked about the possibility of your toys. I do want to point out this beautiful truck here on my desk, the official the official unofficial Inside Monster Jam Mini RC. Our friends at Low C, LMT, and Horizon Hobby, and Jessica Dell, Michael Letcher built this baby for me. So it's nice to have that on my desk, but I'm sure you have many options with your Bailey Circuit merchandise to include at your house.
Oh, absolutely. I've already tried to snag about one of everything if I can. Like I said, my daughter loves it all.
Well, I look forward to my kids also falling in love with Bailey Circuit when they see. All right, let's go to some fan questions. You can get your questions in each week. Follow me on Instagram at Scott Jordan, MJSX. Tidal Wave Tori has a question about how do you balance being a mom and being on the road? What are the pros and cons?
It is a balance. It is definitely a dance. Last year, she traveled with me full time. She was very small. Obviously, I like to call her, she was a little potato back then. She was really easy to cart around. This year, she is 2 and feral, and she's a farm kid, and she's on dirt bikes and outside 24/7. So she hasn't been coming as often. I was on the West Coast this year, so the flights were really long, really expensive, and the time change, yes, I would have been selfish and wanted her to come for my own sake, but I have to think about her and her well-being, and that's at home with her dad and with my mom and dad, playing outside and living her best life. But it is definitely chaos, but it can be done. And I think that's just a testament to Monster Jam and this being, just a family-friendly environment for not only us, but the fans as well.
And I do want to peel back the curtain a little bit, because in Monster Jam, you do see a lot of drivers bringing their families, and even hosts bringing their families, and it's such a welcoming environment. You have so many different people that look out for each other. So if there is a sport that offers that, I would say it's Monster Jam. It's amazing, because I've had my kids around so many times, and they feel welcome, and everybody, they love the snack table, the snack rooms. That's where my kids go. Well, they don't want to see the trucks when they come. They want to go to the snack room and get the food first. Again, we're going to stick with your family here. Brennan Jopp is asking, has your daughter seen the all-new Bailey Circuit? If so, what was her reaction to the fluffy and brightly colored RoboPup truck? That's a great explanation there.
That really is. So I got to bring home the Bailey stuffy from the Sweet Sweet event, and like I said, she's not put it down. She loves that thing. It even has the little springy tail and puffball and everything. This weekend, I brought her home some T-shirts and the famous Bailey Circuit hat, and she has not taken it off either. So I think that's, good to say that the kids absolutely love the merchandise. Like I said, they sold out right off the bat in Raleigh. So I have really high expectations for the rest of the year.
And the hat has the little fluff ball on it.
It does. Yeah. It has the hair and the fluff ball on it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, when I went to Ringling, I did see a lot of Bailey merchandise. I think they had that hat there. So interesting. Let's talk about what's going to happen with Whiplash and Scooby-Doo. We did kind of talk about that as well. Mateo Casas, we asked about Scooby-Doo. Is there a future for Whiplash? Would you like to see that truck come back anywhere?
Absolutely. I hear literally on social media every single day in the comments about Whiplash, bringing Whiplash back. And, I was really the first of its kind to have a truck designed for me and my style and my own personal brand. And obviously I would love to see that truck come back. I, put my heart and soul into it. Yeah. But, you just never know. And every year I'm hopeful, just like everyone else. And, you just, like I said, you never know what's to come in the future. I
was there with you when you debuted that truck. You always, I can't remember exactly what you said, but it was a little bit of country and a little bit of something else. You remember what that tagline was?
How you described that was a long time ago. Honestly, I don't really remember.
You had the best merchandise there. It was so cool. It was like, I
had my own booth.
You had your own booth, yes.
Nobody's ever had their own booth.
Exactly.
Even Gravedigger's never had his own booth.
Exactly. All right, we'll do one more question here. Eva Brooke Wee Woo One says, will Bailey Circuit, the robot dog, travel with the truck full time? I mean, Bailey does have obligations with Ringling, but maybe some possibilities?
As far as I know, the rest of this season, because the circus is taking a break right now, so Ringling will be back with an all-new tour in 2026. But as for right now, Bailey's all ours.
Wow.
So she is going to be at all of the upcoming events and meeting everyone and really getting everyone hyped up about her brand new Monster Jam truck.
Well, Bree, thank you so much for being here. So great to have you. So awesome to see you back doing what you love with a brand new ride and of course, winning freestyle where you belong.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I look forward to the next time. Maybe next time we'll bring your daughter here and just put a chair there.
That would be a show. She would talk the whole time.
All right, coming up next week, we bring back the Diary of a Crew Chief. You don't want to miss it. That is coming up next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil.